I think Chris Paul, like, even it might even be psychological because you could tell he don't like this coming off the bench stuff. Like, he's being a good soldier and he's doing his part, but you could tell he don't like it. Last night we asked him, I think it was Tim Kawakami asked him, you played 34 minutes, could you do this regularly? He's like, yes. Like, he wants to be on the court. And the bigger part, when you start thinking about it, like, especially when you talk to him privately, he wants to be on the court with Steph Curry.
Yeah.
Like, he wants his minutes with Steph. If he's coming off the bench, his minutes are with reserves. But he's here to play with Steph Curry. That's when it's fun because he's got Steph and Clay and he can do his thing. So I think it's better. Chris Paul is better when he starts. And it's hard to look now after this stretch of games to say they're not better when Chris Paul is better. They kind of need Chris Paul to be pretty good. Like, he can't just be like the Kuminga whisperer. Like, he's got to be a pretty good player. So I agree. I think it'll be tough to send him back to the bench unless somehow you figure out a way to give him 30 minutes even while he's coming off the bench. But to me, it's more valuable to Steph, to Clay, for Chris Paul to start the game because now they can get off to the start they need to get off to.
Who would you bench?
It's got to be Looney at this point.
Okay. Real
He's
small.
not. He's not giving you the difference. Yeah, you go small with Draymond. I mean, they're small anyway. Like last night, they started with Wiggins at the 4 and Looney. So Wiggins at the 4 and Draymond is probably about as small as you can get, right? But like, I don't know. I don't know. I guess you're not starting Clay, right? So the only other option is Wiggins. And he's just kind of getting going, and you need him defensively on the perimeter, especially if you got Steph, Clay, and Chris Paul. So it feels like Looney's the only option at this point. And he's not playing particularly well. He still does his thing, but, like, they could use something else in the starting lineup to really push him because that starting lineup isn't getting the job done. So I'd probably go Draymond. I don't think Steve is doing any of this, by the way.
Right.
I don't think he can start small. I think he's gonna be afraid of rebounding, and Looney's a rebounder. But I'd start Chris Paul and Draymond.